Hi Cancer, welcome to your weekly Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. Let's get straight into it. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, let's have a look and see what is going on for you as that overarching energy trend or theme. Ooh, okay, jumping card will take the top. So you've got the Devil card. Okay, so look, let's look at the positive attributes of the Devil card first. What this suggests is you have a chance this week, or you have, and this is something that you actually do very well, which is why I find it so interesting that people say like Capricorns and Cancerians don't get on. You're direct opposites in the zodiac. Capricorn can be really single-minded, and that takes a certain level of clinginess, right? And so this suggests that this week in all the four different areas of life that we're going to look at, you have the ability to really hold to a specific way of doing things. You've got the ability here with this to control a situation should you want. However, you do need to watch out for that Cancerian emotional manipulation that can sometimes set in. And I say this out of all love. Remember, I have a moon in Cancer, and it's a strong moon at that, I have to say. And I don't say that, you know, like in a big-headed sense. I'm just saying like it's a strong moon. You know, very, very feeling, intuitive, emotional kind of person. So I can say, like, you know, I can say that. Besides, you guys are my lunar brothers and sisters. You know how we do. On the heavier end of the scale, remember the Devil card is addictions, it's patterns, it's habits, it's things that we're tied to unconsciously, like with things that we're giving our power away to. And so you're being urged this week in all four of these areas of the life that we're about to look at to ask the question, are you actually being where is it that you're giving your power away? And where is it that you are being too rigid and seeing only the surface level of something? Because remember, the Devil card is all about the material. So, you know, and very often the material is the surface of something. You know, everything has a hidden depth to it. So for your actions and options, you have the King of Swords, right? So the first thing that I will say to you is, you, my dear Cancerians, can be very hard-headed. Not just in terms of, like, you know, the hard body with the shell, you know, or the hard cage that you put around your heart. Like, this could be, like, this week you could be really hard-headed. And I gotta be honest, there's a potential to clash with an authority figure here in some way, shape or form. Wherever paperwork, documentation or needing to deal with authorities or legalities shows up, just be very mindful of how you deal with things. And I will say, whatever paperwork you have to work with or deal with, make sure that you do it all above board. And that's not to say that you wouldn't, but the King of Swords, I have to say, as an adversary, is a very formidable one. So just be mindful. Now, as a person, especially when it comes to your options, the King of Swords is usually an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini or Libra, somebody that has those kinds of traits. What I will say to you is, this could be somebody that maybe brings out the worst in you, and you need to figure out why. You know, sometimes we meet someone and they just rub us the wrong way. Like, we can't really put our finger on why. We just know that we don't like them. We know that they don't like us, and it kind of is what it is. However, this week there's a potential for you to, I gotta say, I'm sorry, you know, there's a potential for you to act in a way that makes you look like the crappy one. So, and not to say that anybody's a crap, you know, human being or whatever. Well, no. You know what? Fuck that. There are some really shitty people in the world, and some of them I've met. Some of them I've been on the receiving end of some of the shit that they've put out into the world. So you know what? Like, I don't even know why I'm getting into this justification mode and trying to explain shit. Like, no, right? There's a potential that this person brings out the shittier side of your nature. I'm sorry to say. For whatever the reason is, you need to check that at the door, because there's a chance that you're going to come out of this interaction looking like the way. It's like, you know, like when somebody goads you to something and then you make the noise and then they sit there like, oh, I don't know why, they just went off on one. Then we have the Queen of Wands in your communication sector. Now, isn't that interesting? And this tells me that the reason that this person has a problem or an issue with you is because you set down a boundary. The Queen of Wands shows up for you in the sector of your communications. The Queen of Wands, one of her greatest attributes is her ability to hold a boundary. She doesn't take any shit. She says what she means what she says, and she shows up and she backs up what she says. Because this comes up in your communications, you are holding your ground on something, as you know, and when Cancer has a bee in their bonnet and they want to cling to something, good luck getting them to budge on that one. What this tells me is in this area of life, there is something that you're refusing to let go of. You are laying down the law or a boundary in some regard, and it's quite possible that somebody either takes that the wrong way, maybe they take it personally, or whatever the case might be. It's not your stuff, it's theirs. However, you do need to approach the situation with some caution. This is a King of Swords and a Queen of Wands, and in tandem, these are complementary elements of air and fire, which means there's a possibility that any arguments that come up could get way out of control a lot faster than you imagine. So just be careful, okay? Now, and that's the other thing as well. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Cancer is like the crybaby of the zodiac, man, and they're so warm and soft and loving and fuzzy, and they are absolutely all of those things. However, the crab is a very reactionary being, right? So just be mindful, especially for those of you that are cross-watching. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, that's a tutor, a teacher, a lecturer. This is you clashing with somebody, and it looks like on something that you're refusing to budge on, something that just doesn't feel like it's up for negotiation by you. It will be interesting to see how that plays out. If you are employed by somebody else, this could be with a colleague or even with a boss. You might see somebody doing something and say, listen, that's not the way to go about this, and you might be met with some resistance. Again, it's not really about you, it's about their stuff, but know when to back down. When it comes to your those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, cut yourself some slack this week. All right, like if you have to go in on an employee or a situation that arises, maybe you have to fire a client. It's never easy to do that, by the way. If you're a business owner, I get you, I totally understand it. I've been in that position myself a few times where you kind of have to say to someone, I'm not the person for you, for any number of reasons. Sometimes that is the intuitive guidance that you get, that you can't help this person, they're not for you, you're not for them. And it's not easy to say to somebody like, actually from here on in we can't work together. But sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's like that for all of us, okay? And then finally, for those of you that are, and you're having to lay some sort of boundary here, and when you do, you're going to get some pushback. So just be aware of it. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, this could be about some kind of future plan, maybe the future proofing, maybe your children, if you've got them, are like, oh, you know, I don't like that you've made me the guarantor of your will. Maybe your partner says, look, you know what, I want us to do this, this, and this with the mortgage. It's like you're having a conversation, but you are putting your foot down on something, and it's not going to be a popular opinion. Then you have the 9 of Cups, and this shows up for you in the partnership sector. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this actually is really nice because it suggests that there's healing. One of the things that you may have put your foot down on, maybe your significant other is eating something or doing something that you both know is bad for your health, and they refuse to stop, and so you step in and you stage an intervention of some sort. It might not be greatly appreciated in the moment, but it will definitely have good long-term lasting effects. For those of you that are single and looking, it's quite possibly looking for some kind of legal support, etc., may end up leading you to a potential love opportunity. So that will be interesting. And then finally, you've got the 6 of Pentacles when it comes to your money and materials. So in terms of your money and materials, the 6 of Pentacles literally represents the transactional financial, the transactional nature of money. You got this opposite the 9 of Cups. For those of you that have been waiting for a loan, a debt, or something to be, a loan, a debt, or something to be repaid to you, it's on its way. Like this week, you'll probably hear the good news about that. Anywhere that there's been a payment of some sort that has been delayed, that you've been waiting for, the money will come this week. Like you'll get your payout, you'll get your cash out, you'll get your money from the insurance or whatever the case might be. Okay, and then finally, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Six of Pentacles is asking you to really take care of the balance of things that you're putting into your body, because at the moment it looks like a lot of you have like a very singular diet. Maybe, you know, you've been so busy that you've not really been eating at all, and when you do, it's like minimal or, you know, not very good food. Your body is calling for more balance here when it comes to, especially for those of you that like spicy food but know that your body can't handle it. This week you might need to address that. Finally, when it comes to your home and environment, the Six of Pentacles, you're getting your payout. The money that you need, the money that you require is absolutely making its way to you after what looks like potentially quite a difficult time. Home in general probably won't be changing now until next year for those of you that are wanting to move, so it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.